travel to a faraway jungle to find the source, each having their own reasons. Welcome to the Tomb of Annihilation.
Cool. Welcome back, everybody. So, a quick recap then. After leaving Shulku, our party travelled northwards, bound towards Omu. They encountered refugees fleeing an Aarakocra raid on their village. Following their trail through the jungle for a few hours, our party eventually arrived in the village and were greeted by bodies and wreckage strewn about the area. They proceeded to search the houses and happened upon a group of sleeping Aarakocra hidden in the main house. With nary a scratch, our party dispatched the raiders, following the one that escaped all the way to a clearing a few hours deeper into the jungle. The clearing, surrounded by 4 large Fey trees, is currently inhabited by a large group of Aarakocra, all flying around a stone summoning circle and portal, currently being controlled by an Aarakocra summoner in the middle of a ritual. Our party snuck in, and with a round of surprise, attacked the summoner and the Aarakocra, briefly disrupting the ritual. It is sundown. The fading light from the sun is overshadowed by the purple pulsating light coming from the rift in the middle of the summoning circle. The clearing, surrounded by Fey trees, gives off a sad, melancholy song, only felt and heard by Yolena, who is unable to stop the sadness seeping from her eyes. The robed Aarakocra summoner stands behind the torn rift, ready to resume his incantation, while the remaining Aarakocra circling the summoning circle dart in to attack you all. Dark purple wisps of necrotic energy seep from their eyes, beaks and fingers as they focus on their invaders. And through the rift lunan, you can see a creature, a large, 2-headed Aarakocra, carrying a battle standard radiating the same necrotic energy. It has one hand outstretched towards the rift, almost as if it is trying to reach through. We join our party at the top of round 2 with Yolena. On initiative 23, you are the first to go.
I'm just trying to remember. I thought of what to do last week, and now I can't. What's going to do?
Is there a reason I'm looking into a big skull?
Big skull?
Yeah, on my screen I can just see a big evil skull.
What? No.
You have a bug.
You do. Are you on 8.2? 0.82? I think that's the current version. What kind of a skull does it look like?
It's a skull with green goo seeping from the eyes.
Oh, how is it that you can see that? What about now?
It moved.
Oh, that's...
I'm just gonna reload. Just a second.
Oh, I can see it in the combat tracker as well.
Yes. Yeah, you can see it in the combat tracker. I've placed the skull on there to get an initiative count so I don't forget. You can see the name of it as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
It'll remain in the tracker. So
Okay, now I cannot see it.
Okay. I'll just...
But...
Oh my god.
I could only see that. I couldn't see anything else on the map. I could only see that.
I'll hide it again.
Oh boy.
If you hide the token, it disappears from the tracker as well. For us, but not for you.
Oh, let's see.
There it is.
Ah, you see.
Right. I've been running games in above BTT recently.
You clever boy. Hey? Okay, that's the way forward, because I made a lair action token just for this battle as well. Dusty was having a divine nightmare. So,
I remembered what I'm gonna do.
Oh,
This one over here is prone or paralyzed or something. Right, the one north of.
he's fallen out of the sky.
Yes, that was what I was gonna. She's gonna run on over here and attempt to kill him while he's down.
Okay.
If possible. Oh wait, you can get advantage when they're prone.
You
Yeah, I
do.
forgot
Yes.
to roll with advantage.
He is
They're
paralyzed
also
as well.
paralyzed.
Yeah.
So if you hit this auto crit.
19.
Yeah. That hits.
So it's an auto crit.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still alive after she
He...
smacks him for
Is that
18?
your maximum plus the roll?
Yes, actually.
I think yeah, I think so. I rolled it.
Manually.
No, I did the roller's crit damage after right clicking on the damage for the short sword.
Yeah, so it's given you the 6 is the auto. That's maximum roll anyway. Let's add 2 on because you got a 4. So let's call it 20 then. So yes, he is still alive, but barely. As you hack into the body on the floor, it almost convulses. You've managed to hack through one of its wings that drops off, and he looks incredibly damaged.
Sure, go for him again.
Okay.
Just gonna try and chop his head off.
Okay. Not sinister at all.
No. She'll like cry if she does it, so it's not sinister. It's fine.
Wow, 2 19s. There you go.
Oh,
so,
boy.
definitely a crit. As you bring the sword down on the prone Aarakocra that's fallen out from the sky, you manage to connect with its neck, and with almost a hot knife through butter action, it just slices through the spinal cord and tissue, holding the head to the spine, and the Aarakocra head bounces and rolls away. Squelch.
She'll just grimace a bit and then. Oh, yeah, she's got 15 foot, so she's just gonna walk back over here because it's the next round. I'm gonna use my channel divinity, but I can't do it right now, and that will be her turn.
Okay. Then, on initiative 20, the rift begins to vibrate. The stones around the summoning circle shudder and rise a few inches off the ground. And then they fall to the ground just as a wave of force emanates out from the circle. A wave of ashen purple energy pulsates outwards from the summoning circle. I need everyone to roll a dexterity saving throw, please.
Ooh. Nope.
Where did my roll go? Did I roll that to everybody? Custom roll, yeah, I did 9. So, all of those, it's DC 12. If you failed, you take 9 points of necrotic damage.
Alrighty.
And if you
Rolling for concentration.
pass, you take 4. Everyone, obviously, who's got concentration needs to save for concentration. And as it does, it strikes all the other Aarakocra in the area. Dusted, the one that crashes to the ground in front of you. The wounds that it received almost appear to knit closed as it heals the fallen Aarakocra on the ground when the wave passes through it. The bodies of the two dead ones on the ground by you, Yalena and Lunan, they shudder with a bit of rigor mortis, but they do not arise. They remain dead. Alright, next up then is the Aarakocra. The one on the ground in front of you, Dusted, is paralyzed. He cannot move. So, I'm going to do Dusted first. That one's going to move in, and it is going to attack you. Valrus, your concentration has dropped, hasn't it?
Apparently not, because I'm next to your limit.
Oh.
I think it adds on. I'm not sure. I assume it does if it's a saving throw.
It's always on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So nice.
You're very lucky.
That is pretty lucky. Darn it.
I just happened to wander near Valrus.
I'm on the ground at the moment, Lunan. I was given flight at Vargo's turn, so I haven't moved yet with flight.
Alright, so he does a diving attack towards you and he gets a 23.
That hits.
And as he does, he dives past you, attacking you, raking his claws across you, and then moves swiftly onwards down to there.
Actually, what did you say it was? 23?
23, yeah.
Let me do a warding maneuver on that. I have 26 armor.
Alright, and as you do, you almost bring your shield or your weapon to bear, and the claws scrape across it, not causing any damage, and you just notice the lines of necrotic energy twist and wither across your warded blade or shield if you used it.
I don't have shield anymore. I gave my shield away.
Ah, that's true. So then it's the blade that you raise to help ward and protect yourself. Glancing blow against that, you take no damage as he flies on past you. That is the first one. The second is going to, these two are going to 5, 10. Sorry, that's 20, 40. No, it's 5, 10.
So the one next to Vargo has started flying?
30.
I think it is.
Moving, he's on the ground still.
Oh, okay.
No, he's 25 feet. But Vargo is 25 feet in the air.
Oh, good point. So, Vargo, he's below you on the ground. He has used his move to get to there. The other one is flying to engage you in the air. And that is his movement. He can't reach you there, but he's doing a flying attack against you. The 45 and 50 feet away. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Are those flying? I'm confused.
Yes.
Right. Alrighty.
Those two are flying.
I think that the one next to me was also flying from last game. If you want to take the attack.
No, he landed before.
Yeah?
I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he landed.
Oh, okay. Then I say nothing.
Right. So they can't get to you just yet. They're going to move there and there. Okay. And then from the ground on the southeast tower, there is a door in the ground. 3 Aarakocra come moving out over there on foot. as the northeast tower as well to Aarakocra exit from there. Okay, that is their turn. Which brings us up to Dusted Coal.
I mean, I'm not in the one for targets, I think. What is actually happened to this? Is it whole person or whatever is it? That's
It's whole person
happening
from
to these birds.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, Dust is gonna grab out his other dagger, or well, one from the bandolier,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna stab the one next to him.
Okay.
We start off with 28.
28 hits, that's for sure. This is the one on the ground, yeah? So that's a crit.
Yeah. So that is 14 damage.
40.
Because the first die is a 4.
Okay. Yep.
And another stab.
Mm-hmm.
That one is a 19.
That hits as well. Natural 1 and a 9, and you still hit him.
Yeah, and then 13, sorry.
Oh,
30.
that is exactly
13, yeah.
13 is exactly what you need as you plunge the dagger for the second time into its prone body, and it just gargles as it falls dead.
Then Dust is going to try this new flying thing of his.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to try to fly 25 feet upwards, so he's on level with these two, like Marco and this Aarakocra.
Okay.
And then 20 straight ahead, because I have 60, right?
I think so, yeah.
Flying, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to try to intercept this one by attacking it with his offhand dagger.
Okay.
And that's 12.
A 12 actually hits.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
for 2 damage.
Whoa! Okay, as the charging Aarakocra, you side the weapon glances through one of its wings and you manage to cause it some glancing damage. Alright, what else?
And that is my turn.
Okay. Which brings us up to our summoner. Right. He... I've got so many flipping actions he can do. It's ridiculous. Alright, he is going to use his action. He puts both of his hands together in a clap, palms out forward, and then almost as if he's pulling the air apart in front of him, the rift slowly begins to widen a foot. As he spends his action concentrating on widening the rift. That is going to be his turn. Which brings us to Vargo.
Huh. Bargo and myself are having an argument right now.
Oh.
Bargo wants to do something, I want to do something different. Yeah, Bargo is going to concentrate, seeing what the summoner is doing to the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Bargo is going to concentrate on the portal and try to take that magic for himself as he casts the dispel magic on the portal.
Okay.
So, I suppose that's a magical effect.
It check for me.
Ooh, alrighty. 18.
18. Okay. I'm gonna say you roll this beforehand.
Okay.
Taking in the ground. Roll a perception check as well for me.
Sure. 21.
Okay, perfect. As you gaze at the portal and you understand that the summoner is using an action to widen the rift, it dawns on you with an Arcana check that this just isn't one single magical spell. The portal is already been opened and requires a lot more in order to close. He's not, with that Arcana check, you realize he's actually not concentrating. There is no incantation at the moment that he is doing, but he's using an action, he's connected somehow. And as you do, you gaze through to the other side and you can almost see that there is a psychic connection between him, the creature on the other side, and a mechanism that is powering the portal from the other side of the rift.
Alrighty, I understand. In that case, I will. It's been a while since I used it. I will use the Crystal Rod of Spellcasting.
Mm-hmm.
I will burn 2 charges
Mm-hmm.
and cast Tasha's Mind Whip on the these 3 Aarakocra.
Oh, okay.
The one on the ground, and yeah, those 2 flying.
The 2 to your right.
No. The 2 on top of me and the one on the ground.
Okay, so that one.
Intelligence saving throw
That one
for
and
the 3 of
that one.
them.
Okay.
DC is 15.
Okay. I'm going to roll 3d20. They don't get any bonuses. And I'm going to. So 6 and a 4. They all fail.
Yeah, the 3 fell. So they take damage, and in their turn, they can only choose between move, take an action, or a bonus action.
Okay.
Let me see how much damage it is. There it is.
I'm going to mark them as restrained then. 3d6 psychic damage. Holy cow. Okay.
No, because it was upcasted, right? So
it was upcasted, yeah. Really, that's true. By 2, so it's 2 more diseases.
So it's 2 more.
No, it's not. Never mind. It's only you only choose more.
Yeah.
More damage.
Yeah, true. It's only a more targets, right? So they take 7 points each of psychic damage, in case it matters.
Alright, so that is the first damage from each of them. Go ahead.
I believe they cannot take reactions. No, they can't. So I will maneuver myself to be here.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty, that's my turn.
Next up then is Valrus, followed by Lunan. Oh no, Lunan, you can. Oh bugger, you can see him. Go on, Valrus.
He's just gonna go and firebolt the one next to Dusted.
That one.
Sorry, which one did you point towards? Yes, that one.
Alright, firebolt, yeah?
Yes. One.
21 definitely hits.
8 damage.
8 points of damage. Okay. It looks badly beaten as a firebolt flies into the sky and smacks into it. Not bloodied though.
That is all.
Okay, you're not moving?
No.
Alright. Then, darn. Then that brings us to Lunan.
Yes. So first, Luna will move forward a bit.
Just so you are aware, Lunan, above you, you notice that there is an Aarakocra on a balcony in the treehouse. You can actually see it on the map.
Yeah. I'm moving up next to Yarlena.
Mm-hmm.
What does your radiance do?
You get, what is it, plus 4?
4.
4 to your saving throws.
Really nice to have, considering the lair actions, but now she will probably move away from me, so I will move forward a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will, as a bonus action, cast a spiritual weapon next to the summoner.
Okay. On the circle, behind the summoner, or the other side?
I think here.
Oh, good. So you can move it. Awesome.
And then I will attack with it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I roll any better this session than last. Little bit.
21 hits, that's for sure.
For max damage 13,
Nice.
and I'm following it up with that's the first level. I'm looking for Sacred Flame, where he needs a dex save 16.
A dexterity saving throw. Okay, he gets +3. Ooh, he gets a 21.
Yeah, so nothing more happens.
Okay, sorry about that, Lunan. As the Sacred
That's
Flame
life.
doesn't take hold. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Then, top of round 3, we have Yarlena.
She's gonna use her channel divinity watches well. From what I read on it, I can put it on for other people and myself. From what I understand, because it says that you can put it on.
Number of creatures up to 30 feet of you.
Yes, I think it's 4 in this case.
Yeah, because your charisma modifier is 4, yeah?
Oh, that's why it's 4. Okay, that makes sense.
So the only person you can't include at the minute will be Dalris.
Who's two?
Vargo, sorry.
Oh, he's too far away. Oh god.
Hmm.
Can I move before I do this? I didn't realize he'd moved so far away.
Wow.
That.
And it's,
Yeah, Watch Yours is great.
and it's
I'll
not
go.
even concentration.
No. So it's just advantage on. If I move there, then I can put it on everybody, and it's advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws. Just those ones. None of the other ones.
For the next 10 turns.
For a whole minute.
So the
Watch Yours is incredible, man.
the second yellow aura is your watches
Mhm.
that I've just
Yeah.
added to you. Wow. Okay. So that's your action and your movement.
Yes. I don't think I have anything as bonus action, so that will be my turn.
But DM, we don't need to be near Yarlena in order for this to work. It's
She
only
just
when
has to
he-
pick 4 targets.
Yeah.
within 30 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, but they don't have to be within 30 feet after she casts it.
Yeah.
It is it's in the moment of the action.
Oh, I see. So it's not an ongoing aura.
No, it's
No,
just.
she just has to pick 4 targets. And I
Okay.
think, did you pick yourself? Did you pick yourself, Jelena? Because
It
we are
doesn't say
5.
that. It doesn't say that I'm included in it because the thingy. Because I read it last week and I was like, oh, I can only pick 4 people total. But
Yeah.
then it says you can choose up to 4 creatures you can see within range. For 1 minute, you and the chosen creatures have advantage on.
Which I'm going to read in as you and 4 chosen creatures because
That-
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, sorry, I was. Yeah, obviously.
No, I actually didn't know that. It's even better. Than,
I read it
yeah.
as
Jesus,
I read it
it's
the other
awesome.
way first, and I was like, oh wait, this actually sounds like me and 4 people rather than.
Yeah.
yeah, that's how
I was under. Mhm.
So
I was under the same impression. Yeah. Well,
so that's
it's
basically
even
the
better.
party.
Yes, everybody is somewhat protected, hopefully, from whatever bad thing is going to happen.
Okay,
And that is my turn.
right. Bollocks. Well done. Alright then, next up. Initiative 20, the rift begins to vibrate through from the other side as the stones shudder in the summoning circle, rise and then boom, they drop to the ground once again. This time, a blast of concussive force explodes outwards, dealing 1 hit point of damage to everyone in the area as dirt and rock hits everything, including all the Aarakocra. I will need concentration checks from everyone, please.
Safe. Dusted, you don't need concentration.
No, but I thought you meant con. So I was confused as well. So because there's only one person doing concentration at the moment, that's you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think, and there's one more there. There's the one over there. And I'm gonna do the one on the balcony above Lunan. Okay. Which brings us up to the Aarakocra then. Right, Dusted. Let me just see. The one in front of you is restrained on the ground.
He's not restrained. He can
No. He is. He can only move, attack, or bonus. Yeah.
Yeah,
This one that.
I've marked him as restrained, so yeah. There's 3 of them that are affected by that. So, Yelena, the one in front of you is going to attack you. Is it only for 1 round?
Yeah, it's this round, but that one is flying, so he will need to move to Yarlena.
Yelena is not flying, that is true, he's 25 feet high. Okay, so...
I wish she could fly.
I wonder if he could just stop flapping and fall on you.
Oh my god.
Alright, in which case, so, they're flying. This one is going to... Let me see, Channel Divinity is literally... an action. Okay.
Yes.
Dustin, you are next to this one that can actually do that. This one is going to... use his turn, he's going to fly up. So I'm going to mark him as flying. He's going to fly up in front of you. Done. The other one is going to attack you, Dusted.
I would be surprised if he didn't.
And he gets 1 melee attack with a +4 bonus. Only rolls a
As you
9,
do.
That's a miss. 1 Alright then, the two flying ones are going to fly. If they only get one, they're both going to fly after you, Fargo.
I don't blame them.
Then these two are going to take to the sky. And they're both going to fly to there. These three are going to take to the sky as well. Okay. And then this one is going to turn around to there. Okay, so that's their movement.
Is that what Dustin is screaming?
And there's one just near you enough to get an attack on you. The others are going to use their action to move a little bit closer. That one is only going to move one square. Those two can't, and these two are going to remain flapping over there. So Dustin, unfortunately, one more is going to go for you. And that's it.
That's fair.
That's an 8. So he misses. Okay, that is their turn. Which brings us next to Dustin Cole, flying through the air.
And yeah, that is definitely what Dustin is screaming.
Okay.
And then he's gonna start swinging at the ones around him. Starting with the injured one to his northeast.
Mm-hmm. What are you
That's a 13.
Oh, you're using your dagger. Yeah.
Yeah, I have both daggers out at the moment, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 11 damage.
He's still flying. Barely. But as the dagger slices through, you can see the blood splatter spraying all over the air, coating the ones next to him.
Another 13?
13 hits.
9, so 20 damage total.
Alright. And with that, it drops out of the sky. And 20 feet.
And Dustin's gonna yell a challenge at everyone around him and use second wind,
Oh, okay.
which heals me 1d10 plus 7.
Nice.
So that's 12 hit points healed. So I should be at full.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my turn.
Okay. So no movement. You're happy where you are.
No, I'm not happy where I am, but I'm still challenging these birds to come and fight me, giving an easy shot for a fireball.
That's
Fair
true.
Okay. Right, which brings us up to our summoner. And at this point, Vargo, you're closest. So he turns to you as you go flying past. Let me just make sure, because he is going to use his action. Yeah, perfect. He's going to cast Eldritch Blast. And
I, I was gonna say, no, go ahead.
Okay. The range is 120, so the first ray,
You have more than enough.
he is going to fire at you, Fargo. The second ray, he's going to fire at you, Yolena. And the third ray he's going to fire at you, Lunan. So, let's see. Let me just open this quickly. Right, so they're 3 separate ones. Vargo a 14. As it
Nah, that fails.
out at you. Oof. Yelena, the second ray flies at you for a natural 20.
Oh! Oh my god.
10 plus a d10. Oh god.
D10,
Well,
11
that's
points of damage.
Oh my god.
And Lunan a 19.
That hits, I believe.
Alright, so that means you take 1 point of damage.
Oof.
That's awful.
Call that a shot?
Okay. I think that's going to be his action as he stays there. Yeah. He's not going to move. Which brings us to Vargo then. Vargo, it is your turn.
I'm gonna try to cast a spell.
Mm-hmm.
Mirror image on myself.
Okay.
I do as Doctor Strange in Infinity War, and 3 illusions of myself start circling next to me. Let's hope that confuses them. And I will move there. You can take your attack of opportunity if you want.
These ones only got 1 round last turn. They didn't get a reaction.
What? Okay.
The one nearest to you, he didn't have a reaction for his last turn, and this is still, he hasn't refreshed his turn yet. He's still in the same round. So he doesn't get a reaction attack of opportunity.
No, actually, when the turn comes again, which happened because it moved towards me, they get it back, normally.
Next round.
Alrighty. Then that's my turn. I stay there.
Alright, in which case, it is Valrus, followed by Luna.
Oh boy. Well, I've got a request. So he's got to hesitate, and then hesitate some more, and then a little bit more.
Hit me, you pointy horn prick!
Where does it spawn the?
Oh my god! I always forgot how big it is.
It's very big.
What is that?
The fireball.
Oh my god.
Has to be has to originate from somewhere, so I guess it'll come from dust that will be the center point.
Oh wow. You're literally casting a fireball on Dusted.
Yep.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to roll some saving throws here, aren't I? Go ahead and roll your damage, sir.
Oh, perfect! Perfect!
Oh no! Come on, roll low. Oh my god.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Wow, 36. That's a very good roll. Too bad you don't have the Firestone on you. The Fire Key, sorry. Okay. Dex saving throws for them all. Now. Do you want me to roll as a group or individually?
Individually.
Individually. Okay. I'm going to start with the lowest one on the bottom. Alright, he gets a 21. So, he takes, what was it, 36, was it?
Yes.
18. Wow, okay, he is definitely bloody, but he is still flying. His wings are charred, and he is charcoal. Oh! The next one gets a natural 20.
Oh my.
It was 18 for half. Oh wow, okay. He's not looking very good, but he's still flying as well. The next one gets a 17.
Still succeeds.
That succeeds, okay. So he is also not looking very good. Dusted, you've rolled. Then the next one.
Oh, Ange.
Oh,
Yeah.
he gets a 10.
That's a fail.
And as he goes up like a Roman candle, it drops down out of the sky. Oh. The next one then. He gets a 14.
Fail.
That's a fail. Oh man. He too drops out of the sky. The next one that came from the nest above. Oh my lord. He rolls a 6.
Definitely a fail.
And then the final one who was on the edge.
He was just outside of it.
He rolls a natural 20. Now he was just on the edge and outside, so I'm thinking it would be fair to give him half damage and then roll for half. What do you think?
I was happy with no damage already, so
Alright, well,
that's fine as well.
he's taken 9 points from that.
Alright.
Okay. Holy shit. As this fireball comes streaking out during sunset. Yeah, Dusted, causing 169 points of damage in total. Dusted, my friend, how are you feeling?
That took half my health away, but that's fine.
Wow.
Valrus
What-
probably took more damage
question
mentally
is-
than Dusted physically.
How high up are you, Dusted?
25 feet.
Who was wearing the ring of fire resistance, by the way?
I got it.
Not me.
Oh, well. Valrus, anything else, oh Fire Lord?
No.
Alright, in which case that brings us to Lunan.
It's tricky. I had an idea of what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking at Dusted, and then I'm looking at the summoner, looking at Dusted, and then I'm like, he will be fine. And then I'm
Yes, he will.
shooting at the summoner.
Okay, what are you shooting?
So I will try to hit him with third level guiding bolt.
Okay.
So that's if I hit 66
6
of radiant damage.
of radiant damage.
So I really hope I'm hitting now. And here comes the roll. No!
An 11 unfortunately misses.
And then the hammer comes down from behind.
Stop. Hammer time. Can't touch this. Go on.
I'm rolling shit.
Oh,
Clang.
12 misses as well, unfortunately. As the
Yeah.
hammer
Oh my god, that hurts.
just whips past him.
You
Anything
see?
else?
My god punishes me instantly.
Oh.
Looking at Dusted again. I'm like, fuck it. Uh, I will move a little bit, like so.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Which brings us to the top of round 4 with Yelena.
She's gonna go for it. She's gonna go running around to the man that's doing the thing.
The summoner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's gonna try and murder him
Okay.
while he's doing his. So, wow, she's gonna try and hit him while he's doing his summoning because he probably won't die just yet. He's probably a tough bird. I think I might have rolled a 2. I assume that don't hit.
An 11 does not hit, no.
Yeah, I didn't think it would. If this one hits, she will smite. But if it does, no. Hey,
Oh wow.
Okay. A 28 definitely hits.
very nice. And it'll just be a first level smite that she'll do, which
Okay.
is just 2d8. Oh, that was very bad damage. I need to mark off there. There you go. 20 damage total.
20 points altogether. Sheeny man. Okay. Anything else?
No. That will be all from her.
Okay. On initiative 20, the rift again begins to vibrate as the stones around the summoning circle shudder, rise a few inches off the ground, and then boom! A wave of necrotic energy pulsates outwards, blasting everyone in the area for 5 points of damage. You can roll a dex for half, DC 12.
Is that half rounded up or down?
Round it down. All the Aarakocra heal 5 points of damage. So it's either 5 points or 2 points. Oh yeah, because they're saving throws, but thanks to your Lena.
Was it Bex, right?
Dex, yeah.
You moved just out of the way.
Sorry, nobody gets anything from me for this one.
Yeah, it's intelligence, wisdom, or charisma.
Yeah,
Ah, that's right.
only those 3.
And 4
I had
damage.
advantage because of necrotic, but still.
5 full or 2 half. Yeah, everyone good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Which brings us to the Aarakocra then. Right, Yelena, as you come running in, so let me first do. I'm going to start from the left-hand side. Felris. Seeing as you cast the fireball. 10, 15, 20. Right, this one is going to come flying and charging past you to do a diving attack to there. That one is going to fly and do a diving attack to the other side of you. So that's going to be 2 attacks. I'll roll them together and they get +4 to hit. Well, the 18 hits a 22, but the 4 hits an 8.
Yep.
The 22, 22
22.
hits?
It does hit.
Okay. The diving attack, as he comes flying in, he deals with his talons. It's going to be a d4 +2, a d4 for the necrotic, and an additional d6 +2. So it's this. No, sorry, it's this plus 2. So you take 14 points of damage as the second one comes flying past you to attack you. Dusted. There is one in front of you. The others are going to close in on you. To get some flanking damage as they flap around you. So 3 of them are going to attack you. They can't dive, they're too close. But that's 3 Talon attacks. So that is a 20, a 15, and a 15.
The 20 hits.
1 hits. So that's
Actually, wait. I have another warding. Yeah, let's go for that.
okay.
I get 1 more AC, so I have 21 AC.
So that's a miss then.
Yeah.
Okay, as you manage to deflect off your dagger, the claw that almost strikes you, they have gone. Then the other 2, Vargo, they're chasing you, the ones on the top on the left, so they're going to do diving attacks at you as they go flying past and zooming up into the trees. 2 of them, they get plus 4 to these 20s. A 21 and an 11.
Alright, the 21 might hit. Let me see if it hits one of my images.
Mm-hmm.
So I roll a d20 and I have to
Is it below?
have 11 or higher. Yeah, it hits me. Take it.
Okay, so that's going to be 2d4 and a d6 plus 2 to this one then. So you take 9 points of damage as one of your mirror images does not manage to confuse them.
Alright.
Yelena.
Oh,
Hmm?
I was just gonna say, check if we fall to the ground.
I have advantage, don't worry.
Yeah,
Let
but
me
still.
see. 24.
Easy save. Right, Yelena, the first one is too... Whoopsie. The first one is too close, so he's going to move in to do... Actually, no, you're on the ground, aren't you?
Yes.
So then that's 2 diving attacks as they go swooping in
No.
and fly past you. Well, a 7 and a 21.
Wait, I was thinking of maybe using shield as a reaction. Because I don't have a lot of health and I want to heal myself a bit next round.
Mm-hmm.
It gives me +5 to my AC.
Which puts you on
24.
enough.
24 until the start of my next turn.
Oh, nice. Okay, so both of them miss. Which brings us, I believe that is all of the Aarakocra. Brings us to Dusted Coal.
Okay, this flying shit is not as easy as it looks, okay? Dustin's gonna swing at the one to his south with his +2 dagger. Taking a swing, 26.
Oh, that definitely hits.
Have at thee. For 10 damage.
Which one was that for?
The one directly south.
Okay. He is barely standing at 10 damage, but he is still holding in there, flapping away, losing feathers as the dagger and the blade pass through.
Dustin's gonna, as the blade passes through, he's gonna try and turn it and swing it at the southern eastern one, the one right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crit.
Genie man.
Nice.
Blimey, that hits.
And that's +1 damage, so it's 15 damage.
15. Oh, okay, I'll give that one to you. As you turn the blade sideways, you just manage to find some of the vital organs. Stabbing into it, it just lets out a groan and a croak as it drops to the ground.
And with that, with him sort of like spaced out, lunging towards the southeastern one, he's going to take his offhand and try to spin around and hit the other.
Okay.
And try to finish it off. Pray to God.
The one on the side.
Directly south. Yeah.
Yeah.
That he hit first.
The 21
and
hits.
And I have 1d4. Let's see if it's one.
Oh no! He's still standing. He's moving away. But you managed to graze him as the blood splatters. He's not looking very good, but he's still about.
Doesn't look slightly disappointed. But is gonna sort of like try to fly away in indignation to here. In past the two, if I can move that way, else he'll move around. So if he has to move this way around, he will.
Is that just where you want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you're flying, that should be fine.
And else there's an attack of opportunity on the southern one, if he wants.
Okay. The southern one does get an attack of opportunity, so it's going to take it. Oh, but he gets a 13, which is a miss.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's marked because he was the last one I hit, so he will have disadvantage if he's within 5 foot of me and tries to hit another. But since there's no one within 5 foot of me, it's unlikely to matter. But yeah, there we are.
Okay, marked as disadvantage. Is that your go?
That is my go.
Okay. Which brings us to the summoner. Okay. He is going to... Whoopsie. Don't do that. Right. Yelena, as you're standing in front of him, he begins to cast a spell.
Yeah.
The speed of the
DM.
spell. Yeah.
Can I cast no?
Oh my god.
As in NO, or you want to know what he's casting?
I think as
I cast counterspell.
Oh! Yes, you can.
Then I do it. I take that for me.
I mean, yeah, counterspell's a bonus action or something, isn't it? So
It's a reaction.
a reaction, sorry. Yeah, 100%. As he begins to cast his spell, and you almost see himself wreathe himself in dark energy. It just fizzles out. And he looks down, almost in shock. 1 second, Vargo, I need to... Alright. Unable to comprehend what has happened. The speed with which he attempted to cast it, though, is uncanny. You've only seen that sort of speed to come from Valrus before.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, he then looks at you again, Yelena, and he is going to spend a key point for 2 melee attacks on you instead.
God, it's a monk sorcerer.
He's a monk sorcerer. This is horrible.
No, he's a warlock, isn't he? So he's a warlock monk.
A warlock monk.
A warlock monk. Oh my god.
Man.
A murloc.
A murloc.
Alrighty.
A monk lock. Oh no.
My AC is still 24.
Alright, so he gets a 21.
His name is Eric. No!
And he gets a
Not a natural 20!
Again.
20.
No! God damn it.
Now, you'll be fortunate to know that you only take 7 points of damage from one of
Oh,
these
thank
strikes.
God.
It's a natural
Thank-
20.
Thank God. I thought it would be horrible.
You also take,
Oh no.
because he's got the necrotic energy, you take an
Oh,
additional
no.
1d4 as well. So you take another
Okay.
2 points of necrotic.
That's fine. I can cope with that.
And in front of you, as he does, he says to you in Elven, "Intruders, you shall not disrupt X summoning."
Do I hear this?
Yeah, you can speak Elven, can't you?
Yeah.
So can I, but I don't know if I'm within range as well.
Let's see. I mean, I'll allow it. Yeah, I will definitely allow it. You can hear him. He is pretty upset. Pissed off is probably the best word. Almost screamed it in Yolena's face. So 100% if you understand Elven.
You're just gonna motion cutting off his head.
With one thumb across your throat.
Yeah. Yep. Just quietly. She won't change her expression. She won't look angry. She'll just motion.
All right, and almost in reply, he does the Danielson crane, standing on one leg. Come at me, bro. Vargo, over to you.
All right. I take the energy that I absorbed from the for the counter spell, and I try to project it back to the summoner as I cast firebolt at him.
Oh.
Let's see if I hit. That will be 22, so I believe so. So I'm using Power Surge, DM, which adds half my wizard level to the damage.
Holy cow.
Which will be it's 3. So it will be 14 points of damage.
14 points of damage.
Fire, in case it matters.
Now hold on. What was that? Was that a spell, or was that a ranged weapon attack?
No, it's a cantrip, a spell, yeah.
A spell. 1 second. I just wanted to see if he's got anything that can counter that, but he doesn't because it's a spell. Okay. So 14 points of damage.
Fire, in case it matters, yeah.
14 points of fire damage. Okay. He's definitely not looking good at the moment. That almost takes him by surprise as it smacks into him and he caws in frustration at you. Anything else?
Oh, actually, it's 11 points of fire and 3 of force damage. But yeah,
okay.
Same.
Does he get knocked back?
No, it's just damage. No, that's my turn.
Okay.
By the way, yeah, okay. No, I didn't see the Aarakocra in the tracker, but they are there. Yeah, 17.
Yeah, that brings us to Valrus, followed by Lunan.
Ooh, Hmm. Hmm.
All of the memes coming through the chat. I'm only just looking at them now. Wow.
Okay. Gonna
My god.
upcast hold person on the one that looks really damaged, that does the try to kill, and that one right there.
On the two of them.
Yes.
Okay. They need to make
And
saving
it's
throws, don't they?
yeah, wisdom 16.
Wisdom 16. Okay, so I'm gonna roll twice. They get +1. Both of them fail. Right, well, they're 25 feet above the air, so for the one at the back, do me a favor and roll 2d6 speed as he goes plummeting to the ground, paralyzed.
Let's see. 7.
Oh, and as he does, you hear the crunch and crack as his
Perfect.
beak smack into the ground. The next one behind, do you want to roll or take the 7?
Roll, make it more interesting. 9.
Okay, as he comes plummeting down, crashes in, you hear a crunch and a crack, but it is still breathing as it almost attempts to shudder, but it cannot. It is really sorely damaged.
Get him
else?
dusted, and then moves away.
Finish them off, Dusted! Okay, then that brings us up to Lunan.
Hey, the one north of me, how far up is it? In the sky?
It's about 25 feet high.
So I can walk underneath it without getting any problem.
Yeah.
So I would walk to here and think maybe it was this circle causing problems and do a repeat of last turn. Third level guiding bolt. And as I do, I give a little prayer, hoping it will work.
Okay. Go on, guiding bolt. Oh my word.
You shall be ended.
Oh my god.
Oh, damn. That's 6
Oh,
times
yes.
6 damage plus 66.
So 36.
The number of the beast, yeah.
Yeah, so 66
So that is
36.
102 damage.
More or less, yeah.
Roll.
No way.
66
It's
Oh
a
my
minimum
God.
of
plus
it's a
36.
minimum of 15 damage.
Oh, you said 66. I thought you said 66.
No.
66
Okay.
is 36 plus 66 he's gonna roll.
Oh, God.
58
Holy cow.
of the
Oh my God.
Radiant.
radiant.
Which is
the-
doubled. 160 damage. 16 damage.
Well, he's doubled the initial.
My god.
Oh, he doubled.
As the radiant
No,
blade flies out from this guiding bolt, Lunan, you see it arcing its way straight towards this bird, wreathed in necrotic energy. Daniel's son Crane stance, about to take another strike at Yarlena. Boom! And it lays into him with such force that as soon as it strikes, this blast of glowing white erupts. And when the blinding light disappears, the only thing left on the ground is a small pile of ash. Ding, ding.
Hell yeah.
You didn't have to destroy the magic items.
Very. Y'all just start
evil.
laughing. Happily. For the bird being dead.
Damn.
The last thing sitting on the ground on the pile of ash is a plain silver ring.
My God.
The remains of a leather cord. From here you cannot see anything else, but that is all that remains of the summoner.
Damn.
Damn.
What next?
I'm walking towards Charlena. And I believe the ones south of me now are up in there,
Mm-hmm.
over 20.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're out of reach of the hammer, so I will just finish my turn there.
Okay. Yelena, over to you.
Because she's a bit low, she's just gonna spend her action healing herself with lay on hands for 20 points, just in case something else bad happens. So she'll just use her action to heal herself.
Okay. Heal or lay on hands, sorry.
Lay on hands herself for
Okay.
20 points of healing.
Alright, so you heal yourself for 20 by laying on hands.
Yes.
Do me a favor and roll a perception check for me.
I guess if she can, she'll pick up the cord the ring is on and hold it out to Lunan.
Joink.
Alright, I wanna... Okay, well, I suppose with a 10 you would have seen the silver ring in the pile of ash because he's right in front of you. And that's all that remains. But you don't notice anything special about it, so we'll leave it at that. So I'll say, yeah, you heal yourself and you lean over to pick it up.
Yeah, she'll be getting ready to hand it to Lunan when he gets closer.
So are you grabbing the leather cord or are you actually going to grab the ring itself?
The leather cord. She knows by now maybe not to touch random magic objects.
Okay. Alright. Right. On initiative round 20. The rift begins to vibrate. The stones from the summoning circle start to rise a little bit. And almost in a lackluster way, they drop to the ground. And as they do, from out of the rift comes a creature. It comes screeching out. I'm going to send the image to the game log. As it almost looks like a flying mantis from the ocean. Teeth pointing out of it. But the screeching doesn't pierce your ears, instead it pierces your mind. As it exits. Oh, okay. The Aarakocra turn around on their turn. Seeing their summoner destroyed, they almost go into a bit of a frenzy and turn around and move straight towards you, Vargo, firstly. Lunan, you're the one who destroyed them, so they're going to attack you, and this one is going to fly into you as well. That one's prone. I'm going to start with the one on Gusted quickly. And roll it with D20. That's a 13, so that's a miss.
That's a miss, yeah.
Lunan, the other two fly in close towards you. The one from behind is flanking, so he gets a 22. I think that's a hit.
22, yes.
The other two, I'm gonna roll them at the same time. The 9 is a miss, the 19 gets a 23, so that's a hit as well, so that's 2 hits. So for the first hit, you take 5 points of damage, and the second strike is 9 points of damage. And then Vargo 2 are going for you. Oh, 10 and a 9, so that's a 14 and a 13, they both miss.
Yeah, they both miss.
Okay, that is their turn. But then, as the flying horror comes pulsing through the gate, the first thing it sees is both Lunan and Yelena. And it screams, in fact, mind you,
Oh wow.
oops.
Oh, no!
I can hit 2 of them.
I'm so
best.
glad. I'm so glad that I healed myself.
It's so big.
Big cone.
I mean, it can just about. It doesn't want to sit in the middle. Alright, so.
DM. And relevant question. What's their bonus to hit, the Aarakocra?
+4.
In that case, they might hit one of my images. No, actually they do. Let me see. Yeah, they do. Their IC is 12? No, 13. No, 14. So, one goes off.
Okay. Right. As the horror comes flying out, it screeches psychically. I need both Yelena and Vargo to roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh yeah, we get.
Thank you for the advantage.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Oop. It's one of my worst rolls. So I'm glad.
I mean, I believe 21 should be okay.
21, yeah, you save.
I'm just waiting.
And you got
Yeah.
a 19. I see
Yes.
that's a save as well, okay. In which case, as the
Yeah.
psychic cone, as the screeching hits your mind, you just blink it away, shake your head, and you take no damage at all.
That's nice.
On a fail, you take full damage. 5d6. Okay. Oh, how lucky are you? Okay. And that is its turn as it comes flying out. Which brings us to Dusted Cole.
Well, this is really unfortunate with Lunan being surrounded like that. So Dust is gonna sheath his offhand dagger.
Yes.
Are these still flying, the ones around Lunan? Or they landed next to him?
They have they've had to land because he's not. So yeah. Let me just take off the flying auras. But this one is. What are you up to?
Yeah. Okay, so I am gonna just take this attack of opportunity
Mm-hmm.
and fly to land next to Lumen to his left.
Okay.
So if there's an opportunity attack from the one I left behind,
Yeah. I'll roll that now. Oh, you got a natural. That doesn't work out nicely for me, does it?
I wouldn't say so, no. And thus it's gonna strike the one straight to his south
Mm-hmm.
with the dagger he has left.
Yep.
A 20
That hits.
and for 11 damage.
Okay, he's still standing though.
Yeah, and we'll hit him again,
Okay.
just for good measure.
That hits for sure.
And another 11 damage.
Oh, that's enough to take him out.
And with that, let me just confirm how much I move. Oh wait, no, I'm on ground now. Never mind. And that's my turn.
Okay. Which brings us to Vargo.
I believe what I'm gonna do for this turn is kill myself. So I will use the rod of spellcasting again
Mm-hmm.
to upcast Cure Wounds at third level.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be 3d8 plus 4.
You're gonna heal yourself, yeah?
Yep. No, that's
Okay.
D2. Yeah. Sorry, that's D10. Let me see. So 15,
15. Okay.
and that will be my turn.
How many charges from the rod did you use?
Oh yeah, question. It says he has in the text. It says he has 6 charges,
Mm-hmm.
but it only has 4 slots.
The rod, depending on the rod that you find, has up to 6 charges. I think the one that you
Ooh,
have, yeah. There are some that have got
I
between 3 and 6. The one that you have has got 4 charges.
I didn't know that. Oh,
Did you
okay.
just
But I
did you
think,
just consume it?
if I remember correctly, it's supposed to grow a foot or an inch each evening to a maximum of 6. I need to go in and double
Oh,
check the text.
all right. I mean, if I knew it was gonna consume it, I will then have to do that. But no, but that's okay. Your call.
But no, but there has been a day where you have slept. Last night you
Yeah,
hadn't used
exactly.
it,
Oh,
so it should
no,
it should
yeah.
at least have 1 charge left.
What
Um,
is the name of the
no,
rod?
no, the rod, crystal rod of spellcasting. I can send it to the game log. Um, I have used 4 charges, 2 for the Tassa's Mind Whip and 2 for the Cure Wounds.
Yeah, so the rod measures between 2 and 3 feet long, and it grows a half a it grows a half a foot a night. So it can only ever have up to 6 and it'll never grow longer than 3. So each night it grows, which means it has at full charge. It's got 6. So
All right. In that case, it has only
6.
4 slots
Yeah.
to mark on the sheet.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Number of charges. I'm going to put in 6. Let me
All right.
save. Now that should, when you refresh, hopefully.
But yeah, I heal this turn. That will be all.
15 points, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. The rod should be fixed. That's your turn. That brings us to Valrus.
Gonna take the opportunity to go over there, just about, and cast a Shocking Grasp.
On the guy on the floor.
Yes.
Oh, okay. He's prone, so you get advantage.
Go 22.
That is actually pretty brutal.
That's
22. Well, it's a
That's-
crit.
yeah.
Yep.
That is 8 plus 16.
Oh my goodness. As you reach out down to touch the corpse lying on the ground, or at least the barely breathing corpse lying on the ground, the electricity from your hand just frazzles, encasing the poor Aarakocra. Smoke rises as it spurns. Zzz. It is definitely dead.
That's all I can do.
Any movement?
All gone.
Alright, that brings us up to Lunan.
Yes. I will move spiritual weapon down 1 or up some to see if I can reach this stingray of there
Yeah, absolutely, no problem.
and attack.
Mm-hmm. Natural, jeez, what's with your natural 20?
Oh my god!
It's because I rolled so bad last time.
Yeah, I was just about to say, you have no right to complain to this decision.
No.
That
So
definitely is.
wait. Let's do this manually because otherwise it's stupid. 1d8 plus 5 plus 8. Roll. No, I forgot the R.
Just add 13.
15.
Nice. Okay. It is still flying.
And I take a step forward. Do I have to take an action to investigate what was left?
I mean, you can just take a look and see it's a pile of ash. Yelena's picked
Okay.
up a ring on a leather thong.
Okay. Then I will just, from where I am now, cast my. Will I? To save or not to save? No, I will cast it. I'm casting Spirit Guardian.
Mm-hmm. Spirit Guardians, yes?
Yes. And
Okay.
let me send it to the log.
Your little velociraptors.
Exactly.
Alrighty.
So I will have a 15 feet sphere around me.
I just need to see how high that is. It's a sphere.
Also 15 feet.
Yeah, so 15. So
Also 15 feet.
yeah, so 15. So
It's a sphere, right?
a sphere. Yeah, that's right. So it's 15 feet high as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So at the moment, it doesn't get the flying horror, but it will get the other Aarakocra. Okay. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. That will bring us to the top of the next round, but let's take our break here, and come back at past, shall we?
Alrighty. It's good combat.
Sounds good.
All right. We'll see you in a little bit, guys. So, welcome back then, everybody. And so in our first part, our party engaged in combat with a group of evil Aarakocra, targeting their summoner, which was destroyed by Lunar with a natural 20, leaving nothing but a pile of ash. The rest of the Aarakocra seem enraged, fighting against the party while, from the rift, a creature that no one has seen drifts out, attacking with psychic energy. And we pick up at the top of round 6 in our combat, with Yelena, who is going to be first if she's here.
Yes. Are the ones that are near her and Lunan still up in the air, flying, I guess?
No, they landed in order
Or
to...
they landed.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. She will attack the one that is just in front of Lunan.
Okay. Oh, that definitely hits.
Hell yeah. So 12 points of piercing damage.
Mm-hmm.
If he's still alive.
Yeah, he's still up. Barely, but he's still up.
She'll go for another one then.
Okay.
Oh, that was like a 19 and then it moved.
Just hits.
Oh, does it? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. $11.
Oh, 11 is just enough to do it.
Oh,
As
hell
the
yeah.
Aarakocra drops to the ground, dead. What else?
Very good. She will then shimmy up here, ready to get that one next time, and that will be her turn.
Okay. On initiative 20, the rift begins to vibrate. And as you move around, Yelena, you notice, as well as Lunan and Dusted, seeing as how close you are, the stones don't begin to shudder around the rift, but the rift itself almost seems to slowly start to shrink in size, and nothing else happens.
That can only hopefully be good news.
Which brings us to the Aarakocra's turn. And as you circle around the other one, it doesn't notice you, instead focusing all of its rage and energy on Lunan. And it's going to attack you with a necrotic claw.
First it gets attacked by velociraptors, potentially.
The Does it's a wisdom save, is it?
I believe so. Let me double check.
Wisdom 16, it says.
Yeah.
It's +1 to his wisdom. He rolls a 17.
Half damage.
It's
3d8.
is it half damage?
Yeah. If it's successfully saved, the creature takes half as much damage. 3d8 radiant.
Damn.
Mm.
Then I will roll anyway. So 10. So 5 radiant damage.
Oh, okay. And as the creature's radiant damage strikes it, it almost appears as if the radiant damage sears into it and does more than it should have, as its feathers start to burn and the necrosis around it melts away. It screams, "Rah!" and it swings to hit you. And it rolled a 15, which is a miss.
Yes.
Indeed. Which brings us to the one now, Varus. It is going to do a diving attack on Varus as it comes swooping down and past you. Oh, it gets a 20.
Dirty 20. Thank God.
Dirty 20. I believe that's a hit.
Yes, it is.
You take 10 points of damage, 3 of which is necrotic. Then, the last 2 are going to go for Vargo. And they are busy flapping their wings in front of you, so they each get 1 strike. Both of them getting a 22.
Shield.
Okay. Casting shield to protect yourself. Do they hit any of your mirror images?
I believe if I do shield, they don't.
Cool.
But it's a good question. I will look into it and reach you later.
Alright. Which then brings us next to the flying horror. And it is going to... It is going to fly out and attack the nearest creature. Lunan, it comes flying down towards you, and as it does, it moves into your radius of radiant damage. Oh god.
And it has half speed for those 15 feet that it moves through. Or I guess 10 feet. To get to me.
Alright, it's got a 60-foot flying speed, so that's not a problem.
Then it doesn't.
But it fails its wisdom saving throw.
Ooh. 3d8 radiant coming up. That's 15 damage.
Okay. And as it opens its maw to charge at you, the little velociraptors jump up from the ground and start nipping and biting, and each bite that they sink in to this demonic flying thing almost seem to like pierce it, and sparks of radiant energy blast out of it. As it eventually takes so much damage, it explodes in radiant energy and falls to the ground, dead. The psychic scream almost just falls on deaf ears as it drops to the ground, destroyed.
Right. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna strike the one in front of me that we have somehow surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
23 probably hits
That definitely hits.
for 11.
Okay. Oh, it's still standing, but barely.
Oh, it shall have another then. 27
That definitely hits.
for 8.
8 points is enough to kill it as you strike it down.
How far up is the one near Valrus, by the way?
It is busy climbing in the air, so it swooped down to attack him and flown. So it's busy climbing to 25 feet again.
Okay, well, I can probably get within elevation of 20 and get to it. Oh wait, 25 actually, if I stand on the northeast of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's do that.
Okay.
Back to help Valrus here. Excuse me, Mr. Corpse. And elevation to 25. Hello there, and I'll take out my dagger again from the bandolier.
Okay. This is your offhand attack, is it?
Oh yeah, I have the bonus action. Yeah, I can do a single one offhand attack. 14
That hits.
and 3 damage.
Okay. It is merely a flesh wound. This one doesn't appear to have been damaged that much.
Well, we'll have to change that, won't we?
Indeed.
That's the end of my turn.
Alright. Then that brings us to Vargo.
I believe I'm gonna try to draw them closer, so I will go next to Lunan,
Mm-hmm.
using my action to disengage.
Oh, okay.
Actually, there.
Alright. Using Lunan as a human shield.
Not really, since Margo is still 25 feet in the air.
No, I'm coming down.
Oh,
I'm 5
okay,
feet.
okay.
Alright. So you disengage and you move. Anything else?
Nope, that's my turn.
Alright, that brings us to Valrus.
Gonna back up a couple of steps and use chromatic orb
Oh.
with acid.
Ooh.
There we go. That's 26.
That definitely hits. 38.
12 damage.
Alright, the acid rolling out, striking the feathers of the Aarakocra, but he's still standing even as the feathers are melting from his wings. Anything else?
That's it.
No movement?
No.
Alright, which brings us into Lunan.
The one just north of me, is it still alive?
There is the one surrounding you are all dead. There are two which are
Okay.
outside one of the tree houses to the northeast.
Yes. I see whatever that is, it doesn't have an X on it.
It is.
Nice. I will fire a firebolt. I believe. Or no, I know that that Sacred Flame has a big effect, so I will try to have them save for Dex 16. One of them. You can choose whichever is closest.
Alright, the one to the south is closest. Dex save, did you say?
Yeah, 16.
dex save. If he doesn't make it, it gets a 9.
He gets 38. It's radiant.
Okay, now this one's undamaged, and that is enough to take him down to be bloodied. As the radiant damage smashes into him, he takes a lot of damage from it. Anything else?
I position the hammer closer to the rift, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Alright, which brings us to Yolena's turn.
The ones up in the top right is flying currently, yeah?
Mm-hmm. They are.
She will beam them then with Ray of Frosts. As long as they're within 60 foot of her.
Mm-hmm.
She'll do that then.
Which
Well,
one?
she'll be whatever one is closest. This one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a 4.
Definitely hits.
Nine points of cold damage.
Alright, as the frost strikes this cursed Aarakocra, it is still flapping around.
He's just 10 foot slower.
10 foot slower. Okay. good
Yes.
to know. Anything else?
I don't think so. She will shimmy down here just in case anything goes for Luna, because he's looking not so good probably.
Let me just
But yeah, that would be it.
let me just check to see if they can use their fireball spell.
No!
Alright.
Yeah, that's everything from me.
Alright, on initiative 20, the rift begins to vibrate. Yet the stones don't seem to shudder anymore as the rift slowly closes a half a foot. The Aarakocra then. This one is going to turn around to you, Dusted, and it is going to take an attack at you. Ooh, with a 7, that's a miss. And then the other two are going to do diving attacks and swoop in to try and attack the group of you. And as they do, they need to make wisdom saves, don't they? So, they both get +1. So, the first one gets a 20 and the second one gets a 12. Lunan, do you want to roll your damage for me, please? Okay. Oh, right. The first one, even though he saved, as he goes diving in, the little velociraptors nipping at him, he comes crashing down to the ground. The second one, that is enough damage to bring him down to half as he goes diving in. And he attacks you, Lunan, with a diving attack and moves out again. In fact, it probably lands up over there. Oh, he gets a 23.
That is.
Okay, and as it's a diving attack, this gets +2 on this. You take 12 points of damage.
And I will do duration check. Not 20.
Nice. Okay. Which brings us to Dusted Coal. There are 2 Aarakocra left.
Yeah, I will start with swinging at the one in front of me with my +2 dagger.
Mm-hmm.
19 should hit
Definitely.
for 10 damage.
Ooh, nice. He's still standing. Or flying.
Gonna hit him with the offhand
Mm-hmm.
in that order. 12. That barely hits.
That just hits. That's what you need, yeah.
Oh yeah, and 4 damage.
Oh, and the offhand takes him in the side of the hip, and he crashes to the ground.
With that, I'm gonna put the bandolier dagger back,
Mm-hmm.
and then Dusted's gonna turn around, fly up to this one, and try to grapple it
You're gonna try and grapple it.
in the air. Yeah, dogfighting, basically.
Okay, interesting. Right, in which case, it's a contested check.
16 from me. Bugger.
He gets a 15. No bonuses.
Oh, well, then he's grappled.
As he's grappled, and all of a sudden, his wings are tucked in, and this dead weight in front of you almost seems to start to pull you downwards out of the sky.
It should, and since I moved 20 feet to get here, flying, so I have 40 feet left. We are... How far are we in the air, actually? 25?
Well,
So I can
you're
dive
about-
with him
You're about
for...
15 as you came down to grapple into him.
Oh, I'm at 15 now. Well, then I can dive with him into the ground,
Mm-hmm.
since I'm grappling him. So let's do that.
Alright. Well then roll a d6 for me, please, for...
Well, that's not that much, but he's on the ground with me, I guess.
Correct, yes. As you grab, you fly basically into him, tackle him in the air, grab his wings and just plummet straight into the ground.
And I should take that 1 damage as well, I think, because I'm falling with him.
Fair enough. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Then that
Technically,
brings us-
he made him enter the Velociraptor on a turn again.
But that's forced movement.
Yeah,
Right.
it says
It's a mother.
it's written very specifically if it enters on a turn
okay.
Turn time on
on
turn
its
starts
turn
its turn there.
or
Oh
starts.
yeah,
its
yeah,
turn.
yeah, yeah. Oh, you're right. Yeah, enters the area.
It works.
Oh,
Yep.
In which case, that's another wisdom
It
saving
might
throw.
be grilled.
And he gets a 7.
Yep.
Noonan, go ahead and roll your damage, sir.
This
Dustin
is
tackles him into the Velociraptors, who are eagerly waiting to nip him to death.
oh, he's dead.
My god.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Dustin,
Yeah.
as you tackle the last Aarakocra flying in the sky, bound for the earth, the Velociraptors jump up and start grabbing him. And to be honest, before he even crashes into the ground, he's dead. It is not only that, but as the radiant damage takes effect, it almost sears the flesh and bones beneath it, causing it to smoke in your arms. And when you hit the ground, all that's really left is just a pile of mushy flesh and feathers. And I do believe that brings us to the end of our combat. Okay. As you glance around, the bodies of the Aarakocra lie on the ground. Strangely enough, the necrotic energy no longer emanates from their bodies. The rift shudders. It is about a foot wide. You can still see beyond it, and ever so slightly it seems to be pulsating, but it doesn't look like anything can go through or come back out.
I take a look inside the portal. Do we see anything?
You do indeed, actually. Yes. As are you gonna step into the summoning circle and take a look into the rift?
No, I am looking from a safe distance.
Okay. Um, what you see beyond the rift is an arid landscape covered with lava. Flying in the air, about 50 feet above the lava on the ground, is this creature that you've spied, the two-headed Aarakocra. And from where you are, you can see behind it in formation a number of these other cursed Aarakocra are flying behind it in support. You can't see clearly, but Vargo, you can swear that below it on the ground is a similar summoning circle on a small pillar of stone. Roll an Arcana check for me, please.
Alrighty. 13.
Okay. From your experience in the wizarding college and your studies, you do know that there is a ritual that is able to permanently seal a rift. It requires a circle of spellcasters, and it normally takes about an hour. But from where you studied, there are specialists there is an order of rift magicians that specialize in this. The best thing that you would be able to do is report back the location of the rift to your wizarding college and let them know that this would need to be closed. Provided that no one on this end communes and tries to activate the rift, it will probably remain the size that it is.
Oh boy, this is bad.
What is?
That thing is going to keep itself open for now.
Can we not close it?
I don't know. Maybe if Unan and I join forces, be. I don't know. Do you wanna try?
I don't know if I have that much left to give. But I'm more than happy to help you in any ritual you need.
I will try to dispel it. I think I know you said it's not going to work back, but I will. I think Bargo will try anyways, even if it doesn't work.
Alright. You spend a spell slot casting Dispel Magic.
Mhm.
Nothing happens at all.
Yeah, it's gonna keep itself open. We should talk to Lady Rain. She will know what to do.
But if we
Wherever
have to
these
leave,
Aarakocra are
gone.
What were you gonna say?
Terlena?
Oh, I thought you were gonna continue. You go.
No, go ahead.
Uh, she was just gonna say, if we're going to leave, it won't more bad birds turn up and try and use it.
Is the portal big enough for more birds to come out? Aarakocra, sorry.
No.
Mm.
It's shrinking. As you're standing there discussing this, you can see it slowly starting to shrink. It is about a foot in size. Nothing, it doesn't appear as anything can pass in or out. But it is an area where if another force or summoner came and knew how to open it, they would easily be able to open it again.
I will spend a spell slot to cast Detect Magic immediately.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Apart from the portal,
Mm-hmm.
do I see anything? I can fly around as well, so if that helps.
The first thing you notice is Yelena is holding a leather cord with a ring hanging off it that glows magical.
Uh, Keep that thing. Is magical in nature.
You want me to keep it?
For now, let's identify it later. We have more pressing matters now.
I'll
What
just
kind of
gingerly
magic it
put it in
is?
her pocket.
Yeah, you're gonna put it in your pocket. Okay.
Very carefully, like she's gonna open the pocket and stare at it, and she drops it in.
What kind of magic is? What's it is? DM from the ring that I can know.
It is. It should be abjuration.
All right. Was aiming for conjuration in case it was related to the portals.
No, it's not related to the portal at all.
Yeah. I have 10 minutes or an hour. I don't know. 10 minutes, an hour to fly around these trees and to see what's inside.
Okay. So flying around the area, are you going to go? The two trees on the left-hand side are 40 feet in the air. The two on the right-hand side of the east are actually off ground level and there are doors in the way. I assume you fly into the top ones?
Yeah. The portal, I assume it's conjuration magic.
The portal, funnily enough, doesn't seem to glow with magic. The portal,
What?
the portal itself.
Now that's interesting. All right.
Yeah, the portal itself doesn't. Um, the the summoning circle slightly gives off conjuration magic, but not as strongly as the magic emanating from the rift itself. Do you want to fly and have a look and see where from the rift it's coming?
Yeah. Carefully. Yeah.
Okay. You take one more pass by the rift and looking inside. You can almost see from the battle standard that the two-headed Aarakocra is holding, a line of magic connected to the rift itself, like a long, thick piece of rope that almost seems to be what's fueling the portal.
I convey that information to the party immediately. Seems to be the source. How we deal with it? I have no idea.
What's the source?
The battle standard that the two-headed Aarakocra on the other side of the portal is carrying seems to be the source of what's opening the rift.
Do you think we can just shoot it? Throw a fireball?
Because it's not big enough for us to go inside either, right?
Mm-hmm.
The portal.
It is not.
Yeah. I don't know. Is it big enough for us to try to fire inside?
We'd always try and
Yeah, because
throw
that's
something
definitely not
through.
gonna piss it off.
Yeah.
I was gonna pick up a rock that is not part of the circle of rocks around this portal
Mm-hmm.
and just chuck it in. Very not hard, just to see if it goes through.
It hits the rift itself and almost just what appears to be like a wall of force. It just smacks into it and then drops to the ground.
Well, I suppose that answers that.
For now, yeah. Should we investigate the place? We might find clues of what those things are, what they want.
Doesn't look like they want anything good.
Mm.
This the big Aarakocra.
Mm-hmm.
I know she doesn't really know any Aarakocra gods at all, but is it possible for the baby think if she's maybe heard of something while they were in Kirsabol?
Roll a religion check.
Probably won't be amazing, but it's worth a shot.
Dirty 20. That's a good roll.
Oh,
So, having
I'm
spoken with
expecting.
Teacher and having spoken with Na, the prince of the realm, he did tell you about the nest of a goddess the Aarakocra worship.
Mhm.
He asked you to find a white feather for him. Legend has it that the Aarakocra, they worship a white feathered bird called Aerdrie Faenya.
Aerdrie Faenya.
Yeah, she is a large. I'm gonna say a dove. A
Okay.
large dove that the Aarakocra, the majority of Aarakocra worship. It was rumored that she is the one who originally brought the Aarakocra from Koliar to this world. So, yes, there are gods.
That they worship, and that's like the main one.
That is like the main one. Yes.
The big one.
The big one. Many of the winged gods and goddesses the Aarakocra do worship in various other places. Yeah, the other. You could probably take an educated guess with a dirty 20 that there definitely is a likeliness that they worship other creatures such as the statues of the tabaxi that you saw inside the monastery at Jezebel. So potentially the Aarakocra also worship other creatures or other gods, not just feathered ones or winged ones.
Yeah. Right. And the one what does the one the big Aarakocra in the pool,
Mm-hmm.
does it look or he look somewhat godlike, or he just looks quite big and imposing?
Do me a favor and read the last paragraph of your divine channeling thing that you.
Oh, my divine sense.
Was it? It was the
Or the Watcher's Will
the
thing.
watches. Yeah, that last paragraph. Read it out loud.
From the Watcher's Will, or the abjure the extra planar.
That's the one.
The last line: if there's nowhere to move, the creature can take a dodge action.
No, read
Like
that
the
full
last.
last paragraph.
Oh, okay.
Or send it to the log again if you could. Okay. So
Is it? Oh, don't tell me it's a fiend. Oh,
Investigate.
It could also be a very cursed aberration or fey.
oh yeah, Faye is kind of likely considering where
given
it seems like we are.
given you rolled a dirty 20, I will give it to you that
Oh,
there is something emanating from the other side of this rift that is extraplanar. It is definitely some sort of aberration or fey. You you cannot put your finger on it, but it is an otherworldly creature
mhm.
that
But
does
not
not
necessarily
belong.
godlike.
Not necessarily. Well,
I guess gods can be Fae, can't they? 'Cause you get archfey, like kind of like gods ish.
And aberrations can certainly be what is it?
Yeah.
Worshipped like gods.
Okay, yeah, she's got a decent idea of what's on the other side. Probably a god, maybe of some kind that's maybe been corrupted.
go one step further.
Mm. Uh, always undead.
What do warlocks tend to worship?
Uh,
A lot of
they
things,
have
actually.
they have a patron. They can have like a fae, like an archfey, or they have the Raven Queen or the Great Old One.
Or a great old one?
I did wonder. I was like, there's
Or ancient.
the little tentacle thing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if Yarlena would know that the Great Old One exists, though. She probably doesn't. I think it's safe to say she's not well versed in that kind of stuff.
But with the 20 that you rolled, you've got some gut feeling that there is definitely something old and, let's say, decrepit coming through from that portal that doesn't belong.
Yeah,
Otherworldly and unholy.
she will mention this all to the others, appearing way more smart than she usually is when she says it all. Had like a what's it called? An
An epiphany,
epiphany. That's it. Had an epiphany.
indeed.
So whatever is in there, I don't know if we should just leave it here.
What are we going to do?
There has to be a way to close this stupid thing.
Alright, in the meantime, Vargo, you flying around the first treehouse on the southwest. It's almost nestled in the top branches of these fey-like trees, and as you look inside, you can see that there are pallets on the ground, cushions thrown about and strewn about everywhere, loose feathers and whatnot. It is definitely the nesting hut of some of these Aarakocra that were nesting around this area for some time. There is also there are two small chests in the room that appear to be closed.
I try to open them.
They're not locked. And as you fly in through the window and sit down onto the ground, the chests themselves collectively contain 60 copper pieces, 27 silver pieces, 18 gold pieces, 3 platinum pieces, and there are 15 gems, small gems of various sizes, various colored gems. And then sitting...
An idea of the estimated value of the gems?
Roll an intelligence check for me, if you would.
Alrighty. Not bad. 23.
Given that you use gems as material components sometimes for spells, you'd probably estimate their value between 60 and 80 gold pieces each.
How much? Sorry?
Yeah, 15 gems between 60 and 80 gold pieces apiece. And
Oh, sorry, a piece. Jeez.
16 or 60?
60 to 80
Oh.
each.
Oh, alright.
Sitting on the bottom of the farthest treasure chest, wrapped neatly in some velvet cloth, you also find 2 potions of superior healing.
Alright. Well, that was worth it.
Right. I take it you're going for the other one as well.
The one that's inaccessible for the others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Flying across from one side to the other, you enter through one of the open windows, and as you enter, you see a very large double bed in the center of the room. This is clearly the bedroom and the nesting area of the leader. Some fluffy, comfy cushions lie around, and there is also a chest at the head of the bed.
With detect magic, do I see anything in particular around the room?
No, nothing is magical around the room. Do you go to the treasure chest?
Yes.
It is unlocked and it's got a simple lid, and as you lift the lid to look inside, a ring inside glows with magic.
Ooh, I take it.
Okay. You also find a coin purse, and inside the coin purse you find 12 copper pieces, 19 silver pieces, 22 gold pieces,
Alright.
and 1 platinum piece, and a necklace which glows magical.
Drink.
Can you roll a d4 for me, please?
Right. 3.
Alright, hanging off the necklace are 5 beads.
Just a comment. I can only burn so many of my whiskers, okay?
I take it all to the party. Those were the 2 that were up high. The other two are reachable for everyone.
Correct.
Alrighty.
I assume the rest of you might search the others while Vargo is flying around?
Dustin is going to look for someone to administer his potion of healing to.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Lunan or probably Valrus at this point.
Alright, well, you make your decision. Is anyone going to search the northeastern hut?
Yana will, but before she does, she'll look at Lunan and say, "You get on with your god very well, right? Because you're She just gestures to him, a cleric. Maybe they could do something about this problem."
The rift.
Yeah. Surely it is bad for everybody, gods included, if some weird thing that doesn't belong here comes here.
Or we can all sit down and pray together. And hope the god takes care of our problems.
Well, they probably won't come down and close the thing, but maybe they could. I don't
Come down
know.
and close it.
Give us a button or something that we can press to close it.
Yeah, maybe. But I feel like Ayun has given me all she will for today, at least.
I mean, you could always ask for more. What is the harm?
Lunan's quietly praying. Ayun, help me with this woman's hubris.
Well, since Lunan is praying, Dustin's not going to interrupt him. Valrus, here, yank.
Lunan will actually ask, is it Vargo that has the herbal kit thingy?
Yes, I have it.
He's busy
So
flying around.
between him flying around, I will wave at him to come down at some point. To ask for so I can prep some healing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you need?
Yeah, I appreciate it, Dustin.
Pasha,
Yes.
you're injured. Here's a healing potion. Stuffs it in Valrus's face.
Oh, what's it called? Mortal or something in English? I never remember.
Takes it and sort of limps away slightly further.
Here, I will handle it to you. I can also provide healing of the magical kind, if you want it.
I have a ton of these.
Oh yeah, start eating.
That I'm planning to prepare.
I hand him the herbalism kit, all the
Mm-hmm.
things he needs.
So I will just use it to start mushing up, and I think I will prepare like 4 of them for Valorous. In essence, 4 of them for everyone but me. For me, I prepare 6 or 8.
What level potion was it?
It's a simple one, so it's 10 hit
Okay.
points you get.
Oh, 10 hit points. Okay.
Or let's say I'm prepping like 25 of those. Or how much?
Okay.
No, that's too much. I'm prepping 20, and then we'll see how I spread it out.
So that's 20d6 worth of healing.
That's too much, right? Yeah, that's too much.
So we are here for 20 minutes, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I will cast Identify then.
Okay. Then, Valrus, what are you doing in 20 minutes?
For 10 of those minutes, he's gonna try and compose himself a little bit, and then after he's feeling better, he's gonna go and maybe check out that rectangular looking thing.
Okay. The squat rectangular building.
Yes.
Alright. Yelena, what are you going to do in 20 minutes?
She's thinking about what Luna said, and she's gonna sit down and try and focus on her god and the problem they have.
Mm-hmm.
In probably a very futile attempt to get someone to deal with it.
Okay.
Not even your god, just someone.
No, her god. It'd be her god, but maybe someone else will pay attention.
Passers by, perhaps.
Have a
Dusted.
massive concentration.
In 20 minutes, what are you going to be doing?
Looking around, it looks like Vargo and Lunan are going to stay sort of close together. And Galena is capable of fending off anyone if she goes off on her own.
Mm-hmm.
And no offense, Valrus, but I feel a lot safer if I'm babysitting you.
Sure.
We are still
Let's
in a
make
very
it.
haunted place.
He does look very out of it at the moment, so that's.
Alright.
He's not gonna stand on your breathing down your neck. He's gonna keep distance. He just wants to make sure that you're all right if you're sinking.
Yeah.
Okay, so Valrus, while they're busy casting their Identify ritual spells and crushing nuts and praying to their gods, the two of you head off to the small, squat rectangular building. It looks like a small cottage from the outskirts. There is a small wooden door. There is an engraving of Aarakocra on the door frame, from the bottom running all the way around to the top. Various Aarakocra in prayer, song, and dance. And almost like a little window, there's a small cutout of an Aarakocra bird. So the door is unlocked. Do you go inside?
Well, I've already accidentally popped my token in, so yes.
What about you, Dusted?
Dustin is just gonna keep a look from the outside, like here or something. As I said, he's not breathing down his neck. He just wants to be in a position where he can see everybody.
Okay. Valrus steps into the little cottage and the door almost swings slowly closed on its own.
Oh well, then Dustin is definitely gonna stand in the doorway then,
Okay. Are you gonna...
holding the door open,
Okay.
just leaning against the door basically, and the door frame so it keeps open.
Alright, so, the two of you almost enter the small little cottage. Valrus, as you step in, the sight inside, the darkness, all of a sudden, light springs from the torches in the sconces inside this small cottage. They almost magically come to life, lighting up the interior. This old building appears to be a small tea house of some kind. At the far end is a stove and a small wash basin. A kettle rests on the stove, and a small flame underneath it pops to life and begins to heat. The center of the room is dominated by a table with 6 small chairs surrounding it. Crockery adorns the table as if it has been set for a tea party. In either corner is a small stool with cushions for additional guests, and dominating the southern wall is a statue of a regal elven woman in a flowing gown and robes looking down over the table. Her arms are spread wide and she's smiling downwards. Comfort and warmth begin to flood over you, or the feelings of comfort and warmth. And looking around in this room, you almost feel as if it is a fantastic place to relax.
Ooh. All right. Wow.
A soft whistling begins to blow from the kettle as steam boils out from the spout, almost filling the space around the hob. The steam outlines a humanoid figure bent over the kettle. An apparition, perhaps? You immediately recognize it, Valrus, as an unseen servant. As one hand grabs the kettle, the head turns towards you, and in a soft voice, "Please, take a seat," as the other hand beckons you inside.
I look around and go to the doorway and see if there's any weird carvings that would indicate like a triggered magical effect of some sort.
Roll an Arcana check for me. Dusted, you see this as well.
Dustin is more focused on the basin.
Mm-hmm.
Because he has just been seared a bit. Any kind of water right now is nice.
Oh, okay.
Is there water in it?
All right. I need you both to roll wisdom saving throws for me, please.
Obviously.
Yes.
16.
Okay. Let's jump to the rest. Fargo, the 10 minutes pass. I am going to send you your identify. There are 3 items that you're identifying, so are you going to, which ones are you doing first, second, and third? Or are you using a spell?
No, it's one casting per object, so I'm staying here 30 minutes at least.
Okay.
Um,
Which one's first?
I will go with the silver ring first.
The one
But,
that,
but did
the one that Lunan, wait, the one that your
Jalena pocketed it?
Yeah.
Oh, I will ask her for the ring then. 25.
She's got focus on her face. She looks like she's praying.
She's praying. She did say that.
Oh. Yeah. And then I will go with the regular magical ring that I found at.
But let's say you, okay, so you're gonna go for the ring that you found in the summoner's quarters.
The one with the big bed, yeah.
And then after that, the necklace that you found in the summoner's quarters?
It is correct, yeah.
Alright, that's 20 minutes gone. Lunan, I need you to roll a wisdom medicine check for me, please.
Oh, it was so close to 17.
Okay. Where was the butternuts, wasn't it? So DC 10 is what you needed. Okay. I'm going to just do one big group as you grind the whole thing. you manage to safely grind the lot. So after 20 minutes, Vargo has completed his 2 ritual castings, and he's sitting there with a big grin on his face and a little bit of confusion. Have you added them straight to the bag of holding? Okay.
I'm on the process.
Okay. Yelena, you have been praying and meditating for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
All right. What is your best outcome for this?
Well, Yelena's best outcome would be getting a magic button that makes the problem go away. But that probably won't happen. I feel like any acknowledgement of it would be amazing, but gods in D&D are always
Get the response.
strange.
There is indeed
But-
a portal.
there is a portal. You deal with it. I don't know. It's a response. It doesn't have to be from a god, I guess, because she's focusing more on that, but she is hoping that maybe somebody might be paying attention. She knows that they're kind of in the Feywild at the moment-ish. At least it feels like that. So she knows that maybe there might be something else that could help, maybe for a price that she doesn't mind paying to keep this really weird and horrible thing out of her home.
Roll a wisdom check for me.
Oh boy.
And that's how she became a warlock.
A paladin, warlock, sorcerer. Yeah.
That's a bit of a...
Almost as good as a warlock monk. So
17.
the ground that you're in, you've connected with it when you walked through the archway and you felt the sorrow. That song that you felt almost seems to have disappeared. And in your 20 minutes of silent contemplation, you almost hear an uplifting song, a sound of something melodious and harmonious coming from the small squat cottage where Valorous and Dusted have entered.
Mm. She will get up, and she'll take the ring by the cord out of her pocket and just drop it on the floor near Vargo or Lunan, between the two of them, knowing that they're probably doing stuff with magic items. And then she will make her way over to Varus and Dusted.
Alright. Vargo out of the blue, obviously, Yelena just steps up, focus on her face, drops the ring and heads straight towards the little cottage.
Thank you. By the way, the ring of clear mind doesn't work. The link doesn't work for me.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
Nope.
In which case, then I will just control copy.
Thank you. And I will proceed to identify the silver ring of the conjurer.
The ring of clear mind gives you advantage on concentration checks.
That will be useful, yeah. Barris!
That's a pity. Okay, and then you're going to identify, so 10 minutes later. Lunan, you finish grinding and making your paste.
Yes.
Yelena, as soon as you finish, gets up and drops the ring that Vargo scoops up and begins to identify. And she slowly but assuredly walks towards the little cottage. What do you do?
As she drops it, like, you don't want your paste, Lena? Holding it on my hand, like offering.
doesn't pay
She
you
do-
any mind.
Yeah, she doesn't respond.
She just walks, focused.
I would like to do an insight check on that if she seems odder than usual.
Okay, go ahead and roll. I mean, I don't think you need an insight check for that, but okay.
I want to give myself a chance for a bad roll.
Oh,
17. I mean, that's pretty good.
I'm like, what now? Standing up. I think Jorlena is up to something weird. We should check it out.
She's definitely
Just-
acting
just-
out of character.
As
I
opposed to
say
what you
like-
said,
like-
which sounds incorrect.
like what started to be this little haunted house where two people got trapped. Now is everyone going there because everyone wants to get trapped in this fucking house.
Lunan's like, I'm gonna go check on your letter.
As I say that, the 2d6 worth of paste that I was holding up, I start smearing on myself as well.
Okay. Go ahead.
So I will take those 2 healings,
Go ahead and roll your 2 healings. Yelena, I need you to roll
and
a
the rest I
wisdom
leave
saving
there.
throw for me, please.
oh no.
Oh, perfect roll almost.
It's not being charmed, is it?
No comment.
I
If it's
mean, I'll
being
gladly
charmed,
slap you out of it.
I have advantage. Should I roll another one in case maybe I am being charmed, and then
Go on then. Just in
you
case.
can go off those.
And Luna, not far behind, you enter the cottage as well.
They're both really
I'm standing outside looking in, asking what's going on here.
Okay. As you look in, what you can see is a plush, cozy tea house. There is a statue in the south part of the wall of a beautiful elven woman. She appears welcoming as she glances and gazes upon the table set out in front of her in the middle of the cottage. Seated around the table are Dusted, Felrus, and Yolena, daintily sitting in front of a teacup and saucer as a kettle of boiling tea slowly floats around the table, pouring them some tea. And as you gaze upon this scene, warmth and comfort almost seem to flood your emotions. I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
I too will do it at
With
advantage in case of it being a charm. Otherwise, you tell me if I fail. If I only have one. Didn't matter. The first roll was a 15, so 23 either way.
Okay. Unable to resist, you two move in to the tea house and take a seat.
Fair enough.
Fargo.
Thing is, I don't think Bargo will go immediately. I mean, they seem to have it handed. If there are four of them.
After 10 minutes, you're like, I did it! I have identified everything, guys! Guess what guys? You look around. It is quiet. The silence of the clearing in the setting sun almost seems to take hold, and you realize you can't hear anything taking place around you at all. Where's everybody gone? And as you look around,
Hello?
you can see the glow of light shining through the outline of the doorway on the small cottage nestled amongst the fay trees. a light that wasn't there before.
You also see that Lunan just abandoned the healing.
Yeah.
Oh god. I will. Yeah, no. I will go as well. Guys? Hello?
You get to the
Oh
little
my god.
doorway, and you can see the light shining through from beyond. The door doesn't appear to have any locks. In fact, it looks like it's one of those small swing doors that just swings open and closed on its own accord. It's currently closed.
I open it. First I will try to hear inside.
Okay, roll a perception
With
check
a
for me. With advantage if you want, yeah?
well, 20. Yeah, 20.
Okay. The small whistling sound of a kettle reaches your ears.
I knock on the door. Guys, are you inside?
You rap on the door, and as you do, just that little bit of force from the knock, the door ever so slowly moves inwards. Light from inside pours out of the door by your feet and through the gap that the knock has created.
I open.
The
Try
door,
to look inside. Yeah.
the door swings open, and inside is a comfortable, quaint tea house. The center of the room is dominated by a large table, quite low to the ground. There are 6 chairs around the table, sitting on a carpeted rug. And seated around the table are Valrus, Yelena, Lunan, and Dusted.
What's the expression on their faces? I'm curious.
They all seem to be smiling, almost as if they
Ah.
have had a fantastic dream. Or Pogface.
I notice something is wrong when I see Barry and Yelena smiling, sitting
Absolutely.
each other. Yeah.
I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw, please, for me.
Alrighty. Let's see.
As the kettle slowly floats around the room,
Yep.
pouring cups of tea, you're almost compelled to join them and sit at the table. And in fact, with a 10, you do slowly make your way. The chairs around are comfortable, and as you take your seat, the rest of them notice you sitting down, and they all look up and smile at you. As you're all seated, the kettle with the transparent figure holding it finishes pouring the cups of tea. The warmth and comfort in the room is almost welcoming and relaxing. And as the kettle is finished pouring, you begin to feel a little drowsy, tired, but happy and content. Your eyes grow heavy as you gaze upon the tea in front of you, the room around you, and finally the statue in the tea house of the elven woman with her arms widespread, her eyes smiling down and shining on the table. And then darkness as sleep takes you. You don't know how long it is before it passes. Hold on. This is probably the wrong... It's the wrong music, isn't it? Let's play this one. You don't know how long it is before you begin waking up. You feel exceptionally well rested. The usual morning fogginess of sleep is easily shaken off as you look around and you realize it is still deep in the middle of the night, for the outside is pitch black. You find yourself sitting amongst your companions in the small tea house, still seated at the table. The fire on the stove is still lit, and the kettle is gently whistling as it is boiling on the stove. But this time, you see a figure standing there, long, flowing, transparent robes that gently fall to the floor and wisp about her by some unseen wind as it sculpts the outline of an elven maiden. An elven maiden that looks very similar to the statue. Her long, golden flowing hair falls halfway down her back as long, slender hands reach for the kettle. And you look down and you notice that your cups are empty, and that you could do with a nice cup of tea, for your mouth is ever so slightly dry. "Oh, good. You're awake," she says in a sing-song voice, as she turns to you with kettle in hand. Just looking at this woman, you believe she's definitely touched by the gods. Chiseled, soft features frame a kind but wise face. Something about her eyes shine back at you and almost make you feel like you're being held by a loved one. And then, a moment later, you realize she's not touched by the gods, but indeed, she is. "Yes, my name is Aerdrie Faenya, and I am the goddess who brought the Aarakocra to this world. I came here to thank you for cleaning and cleansing my sacred nest." And she grips the kettle as she slowly glides across the floor towards you. She gently squeezes in between you. "Oh, just give me a moment," as she begins pouring cups of tea for each of you. She slowly moves around the table, and one by one, warm, boiling tea falls into the cups in front of you. And at the end of the circuit of her table, she then moves to the kitchen and places the kettle back on the stove, and whoosh, the flame winks out. She turns to look at all of you. "Yes, I can sense several questions in each of your thoughts, and I shall grant each of you but one question of me to ease your curiosity." Who would like to go first?
Dust will go first.
Oh god.
If there's no one else that wants to do it.
Very sudden. I don't have a question.
Go for it.
So we get to answer, just ask any question, or
Any question at all? I don't. Go ahead.
oh god.
Yeah, let's put it there.
There's only one thing Dustin really wants to know,
Mm-hmm.
and that is if Willowed Sorrow / Willowed Joy is alive and well.
Alive for now, but oh, how the mighty succumb to that which blinds them. In one heartbeat, Dusted, you will know both joy and sorrow, comfort and loss, and you shall gain everything only to have it torn from you before your next breath. But fear not, exalted one, for you shall prevail only by your own hand. And with that, she looks around the rest of the table.
What's Dusted's
Them-
reaction to that?
Them's fighting words, and Dustin almost grabs his rapier by his side, but as he grabs it, he realizes that he is still a guest. So it's really he's agitated and angry. But as she says that he has the power, uh, well, not power over destiny. At the end, she sort of suggests that he has a possibility of changing it. He calms down, but he's definitely almost on his feet.
As you go to grab the rapier at your side, your hand almost passes through the corporeal matter.
Okay. Well, Dustin is definitely dumbfounded and staring at his own sort of like corporeal, non-corporeal mass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, looking at his hands, basically.
Vargo, you see a confused Dusted. The expressions on his face and the emotions almost jump from confusion to anger and then acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next?
I ask her if she knows what happened the night of my 16th birthday.
Indeed, young Vargo, but you have come so far and already surpassed your kin. Forgiveness is your only path to tranquility.
I say nothing.
She looks towards you, Lunan.
As you most likely already know, we're on a quest to end this death curse. Do you have any advice on how
That
we
which
best do
Mhm.
that?
That which you seek to destroy is hidden deep underneath Omu. You already know of its location from mine own children. But beware, one of Ubtal's fallen resides within Omu. Perhaps you should seek him out, for his goals might be your goals too. Oh, but you too are the blessed of Ubtal, and yours shall be the most difficult of choices to make. The lives of the gods, or the lives of the mortals. Restore the rightful, or restore the living. But know that the choice will be yours to make, and that it will be what you deem is right. And with that her gaze falls upon you, Valrus.
He starts with, uh, where have these powers of... No, that's... I had a vision from a white tree in the past. It showed me something, an army forming. Do you know anything about it?
The power of the Osung has been gifted upon you. The Osung is ancient magic that fuels the rifts. As the vessel that travels the plains, you must be prepared to empty the well in order to prevail. And her gaze falls on you, Yelena. Daughter of Faye, what question would you have of me?
I have many questions, but the one that I choose to ask is probably not very impressive. And if I may be so old, will you help us or aid us in some way to close this portal? The thing behind it is wrong. And I fear that if we leave it until someone else can close it, it will be misused.
What was your question?
She's basically asking if they'll show help or lend some kind of aid in helping them close the portal.
Okay. Your best course of action is to contact the Lady Sylvain. The Citadel shall send a delegation. The portal for now remains inactive. To close it requires the might of the Citadel, or the vessel that fuels it must be destroyed.
Which is on the other side.
The vessel that you seek is in Omo.
Oh.
Your friend has had a vision of it.
Oh,
The power of the Osung fuels the rifts. Destroy the Osung, destroy the rift.
thank you.
But yours is a path that will lead to the place of your birth.
Mhm.
It shall welcome you with dark challenges which you will need to overcome for the good of all Fae. Seek out the green hedge, for she holds the key to your success.
I will. Thank you.
And as for your little friend, alas, the legends of the feather is untrue. However, in payment for cleansing my nest, I shall visit him and fulfill his wish on your behalf.
I think he will love that.
As she looks over each of you with almost a pitying look, she smiles slightly and then says, "Your futures hold many journeys to many distant lands, with many foes to overcome before you can truly find what you are looking for. Some of you will fall, and some of you will fail. But your intentions are true, and for this I shall give you my blessing. But be warned, the prison that holds Dendar the Night Serpent is weakening with each opened rift. His faithful are devoted to seeing him free, and when he escapes, he will engulf the world in his maw and suffocate all life on this planet. To save everyone, you may need to put an end to his faithful, close the rifts to stop his return, and find the one they call Artist Simba. for only he knows how to ensure Dendar remains captive. Good luck, mortals. And she begins to speak in Celestial as she recites an incantation. The room grows brighter until you must shield your eyes from the light that shines from her. And you turn your faces from her. And then darkness. You blink away the after effects of the bright glow, and as your eyes grow accustomed to your surroundings, you realize that you're lying on the floor of the hut. Sunlight is streaming through the gaps in the walls directly into your eyes, causing the blindness. Night has passed, and you wake up fully refreshed, fully healed, purified, and energetic. Everyone can add inspiration, please.
Does this count as a long rest?
It does indeed.
Luna will try to use the incantation to the degree he could. He speaks Celestial.
Lunan speaks Celestial.
Yeah.
You try to recall the words, but your mind appears foggy. The words of a goddess do not seem to be able to be recollected.
I have to say, meeting a god is more than was ever thinking it was gonna happen. Oh my god, I'm not good.
What just happened? I thought I just dozed off.
I can't believe we spoke to a god.
I should have asked what stopped her from closing the portal herself.
Maybe they're not
Um,
allowed to interfere by, I don't know, doing things for us.
Yeah, I mean, she certainly had time to come and talk to us, nobodies.
I feel like if she could have taken care of this on her own, she would have.
Ah, gods.
Gods indeed. Right, I think we should end our session there then.
Good one, guys.
Well, you managed to have a meeting with the Aarakocra goddess. Congratulations, everybody. I hope you didn't wait.
I was surprised the goddess wasn't an Aarakocra herself.
She's actually she is elven. Funnily enough, she only takes the form of a bird to please the Aarakocra.
I mean, it's not that weird when you consider the fact that she has a way to turn exalted ones into these bird people. So that has obviously created the race in some aspect or another. So I mean, if the prince wants to be the royal guard by becoming an Aarakocra, well, that might have been how she created her followers to begin with. So it is not that unplausible that she's elven, but creates special guard for herself.
There you go.
It's just another way that gods create races, I guess. I mean, not all of them are natural. existing.
She is the elven goddess of the Seldarine.
Well, remind me in 2 weeks to have dusted rage out a bit and climb some trees and brood.
And brood.
Probably brood. I mean, just well pissed.
Mm-hmm. Did you not get your question answered correctly?
I got my question answered, but it was not the answer he wanted.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, cats can. Well, I mean, he can be petty. That's not impossible.
Oh dear. Well, that was good fun.
Thank you so much for the session.
I just would like to see all of your faces to see how you've coped with that. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
In mind, you will have seen confusion, mainly.
You would probably have seen me just knock over shit. Like I have 2 empty cans of Coke next to me, and it's just like I almost punched them at one point.
Oh no! You're not gonna like what I have in store for you then.
Oh, no! I'm gonna love it, but at the same time, I was just feeling the moment so much. It was so wonderful.
I think that covered everything. So we are back in 2 weeks, aren't we? Has everyone ticked or thumbs up the gaming schedule channel?
We
We're back on the 22nd, and then
Yeah, and everyone has ticked that up. Yeah.
yeah, and then on the
wait, then
first,
we use a different one.
the 15th, so 3 in March, 3 in April. Yeah. Cool, then I can update the schedule as well. Right, why don't we say goodbye to everybody on Twitch then quickly? Or one person.
Goodbye,
Goodbye.
one person.
Goodbye.